Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob. And today we're working on the tractor. And what we had to do is we had to take this piece here off of the top of the rear end. And this is where the linkage goes from one side to the other wheel. And this is where it hooks up for the steering assist. The hydraulic cylinder with the tapered shaft on it. So these are the tie rods that we had put on this back in 2024, and I'll tell you how I know, because I put on there 8/2 of 24, and this right here is Bison. I put all that in there. I made that shaft, and it's not the heaviest duty shaft. I'd like for it to be a little heavier, but that's all I had to work with. And these here are the tie rods that I think he had these, and one is pointed that way and the other one is pointed that way. So, but the problem we're having with this is the nut doesn't fit it correctly. It's really loose. I mean, it's got a lot of wobble on it, because the threads was chewed up on this. First part of it, you can get it to slide on there up to there, and then it barely has enough threads to hold it. So as soon as I tighten that up, it's not going to work correctly. So we got to find us another 3/8 bolt or nut, hopefully, that will fit that a little better. We threaded that with a 3/8 die, but the tops of these was rounded off, so I don't know where I'm gonna get that ball joint or tie rod. I guess we'll find out. All right, so let me show you what I did to the adapter. I'll show you before pictures of the tapered hole on the bottom of this. Now, what we did is we tried to save as much of this outside meat as we possibly could, because the thinner that gets is cast steel. When you press that in there, it would split it, I'm sure. So we drilled it out to a 5/8, and then we drilled a 1/2 inch hole in it, and then we did a 5-degree taper. So now that goes in there and sets in there just like it's supposed to, and it should tighten up, no problem. Same way with this side. So we just did a sleeve that's tapered on the inside, so the female side of it is tapered and the outside of it is 5/8, a little heavy, so we can press it in. And we put red Loctite on it and pressed it in with an arbor press. And I took it over to my buddy's house, and we spent the day working on it together. So now we get to put it back in. I still won't have the tractor back up and going until tomorrow, because I switched the tires over from those big cleated ones to what's on the rear. And the beads didn't seal very good. It was leaking all the way around the seal because the tire was in worse shape than I thought it was. I mean, it's a good tire, good tread, but somebody was pretty rough on the bead on that thing. So I'm going to have to put tubes in the tires, and I won't get them till tomorrow. So I'm going to put you down here. We're going to try to put this back in, and I'll show you what happened when I took it apart. I didn't realize that both of these pieces separated, but we're going to show you what I'm talking about. So basically what happens is this here goes into a bearing right there and rides right here. Now we're going to put grease on this, but I'm not ready to put this on yet, I don't think. So that goes down on there like that, and then this goes up into the splines and bolts these two together, so it sandwiches this part in between this and this. So I went to pull this up and this fell out, and I'm like, oh, that ain't right. But anyway, so I'm going to take and slide this back up in there, and hopefully I didn't mess it up when it dropped, because it just dropped right where it's at. Well, guys, at some point I lost my battery, and I don't know where it stopped, but basically this is just a temporary fix. I thought it was going to be a permanent fix, but when I got back here after going to my buddy's house to do this taper is correct to these ball joints or tie rods. However, the other bracket on the other side like this, that's minus this, it's just got this part, it's a smaller taper. It's like this one. So this one was wallered out so big that we really couldn't tell what the deal was. We just kind of matched the bushing up to these ball joints. Or, I keep saying ball joints, tie rods. So this one is the wrong taper. It's a smaller taper than what this one is. So this one I had to make a bushing to put down in there. I think I showed that. I hope I got it. If not, trust me, it's a bushing with a sleeve in it that goes down inside this hole that I made and tighten this up. So it's tight down at the bottom and it's tight up at the top because there's a recess in this that goes down in the hole to keep that from going back and forth. So it's the best I can do right now until we get the right parts. But by rights, this part needs to be replaced, which is one of the things that Bob was going to get. He was going to get this, and he was going to get this. And he was going to get the matching tie rod and rod that actually goes to this tractor. I made this rod. So this is a car tie rod. So you're mixing matching stuff. And when you're mixing and matching stuff, you end up with a problem. So at least now the steering's not going to be flippity floppity. You'd turn the steering wheel and that tie rod would move an inch before it actually started moving the wheel. So at least now when you turn the steering wheel, the steering's going to be a little tighter. So sorry about the battery going dead. Somewhere along the line I lost the battery. So we also put the old tires that original for this tractor back on the wheels, and we pumped it up and it leaked all the way around the bead on all of it. The wheels are in bad shape, the tires are in bad shape. So somebody welded some plates on it, and they did a really piss poor job. Whoever did it needs to lay their welding skills down because they're worthless. You know, first of all, that is the shittiest job I ever seen in my life. I think they cut them holes out with a chisel. But they welded these plates on there, and now the bolts don't center your wheels. because the original should have had a taper in it. But that's what happens when you get people who don't know what they're doing, thinking they're doing something good when they're not. They're making a problem for somebody else. But anyway, that's my fix on the tractor, and the tires being changed. And that was slick how them that bucket comes off of there. At least it's out of the way. But now we get to wait for the tires, or the inner tubes. $40 for 2 inner tubes for a 12-inch wheel or tire, or 12-inch wheel. That's ridiculous what they want for 2 inner tubes. Used to be you could get inner tubes for like $6 to $10. I miss the good old days when you was able to buy stuff and make your life better. But anyway, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. You guys have a good one. Later.